Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
Yes, Rick, I am the player to be named later in the Giannis deal. So just had some packing to do this morning to now I got to go from Miami to Milwaukee. Jesus Christ.
Gross.
Who wants that? Gross. I don't know. I think I'd much rather live in Milwaukee than Miami.
Oh, no. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to go from Milwaukee to Miami. Yeah. It's the other way around. I got no problem with Milwaukee.
If you're Giannis, maybe you do. Yeah, if you're Giannis, you probably do. But if you're, a 62-year-old white guy, probably Milwaukee, you fit in a little bit better than Miami. I don't know. Anyway, welcome into the big show this morning. Sorry we're a little late. Travel got a little elongated on I-4 today, so we apologize. But we're here, and we got a good show for you today. Little off the radar, the Valspar Championship, and this press conference is actually underway, so we'll be getting tweets coming out. The PGA Tour is having their big reveal of the great reset of the PGA Tour this morning, and the Valspar and other tournaments will find out where they are in the pecking order, how things are going to be done. This has been much talked about, much rumored about. This is a big deal. This is a sea change for the PGA Tour coming out of the Live Golf experience and an existential threat. What happens to the PGA Tour? I'm obviously extremely interested to see what happens this morning, so we'll have it covered. And Tracy West will join us, tournament director, at 11:30 for instant reaction to what happens to Valspar. No one better informed about this. I think Tracy runs a couple of tournaments on the PGA Tour, not just the Valspar. Been involved with the PGA Tour for 2 decades, so no one better to talk about this and what the future is than Tracy West here locally. So we will chat with her at 11:30. We're going to get into the Rays issues that are going on right now in one-run games as they regress to the mean. So that's obviously we're not at panic level yet, but it's clear that this team needs some revamping, and it needs some bats. So we'll get into that as well. We'll talk a little Bucks, whatever you guys want to bring up. Timmy and I did the off-season grades yesterday. A lot of information there we got out there. So if you want to react to that, the Bucks as well. And World Cup too. Lionel Messi becomes a top scorer in World Cup history. I am fascinated by this World Cup. I am enjoying it immensely, watching games I never thought I would watch in countries, some I've barely heard of, but it is fascinating. And there's a little local connection here, Timmy, is Cape Verde, the Cape Verde Islands. I always thought it was the Cape Verde Islands. Some people say Verde. Yeah. They are a small country of 500,000. Their landmass is like Tampa Bay. And when you put it all together, it's crazy how small it is. And to be playing on the world stage the way they are, to have a draw with Spain and Uruguay is, 2 teams that have won the World Cup, is beyond comprehension, to be honest. And a 40-year-old goalkeeper that is like a pinball machine. It's a crazy, crazy story, and it's developing in front of our eyes. And they made an advance to the second round, which is just absolutely nuts. And of course, Team USA it has taken the country by storm. They are into the second round already. First time they've ever won their first 2 games at the World Cup, I think, since 1930. Wow. They're blowing away all expectations. And, the lead up to this has not been great. And they have come out like a house of fire. They've got one more game at the group stage that they've already won against Turkey. We now have to say something different.
Turkey.
We'll just call it Turkey. Mm-hmm. And then, their best player, Christian Pulisic, may or may not play. Did not play in the second game. And I would guess they're going to rest him for this game. That's not needed. I mean, it's for seeding, but I don't think it really matters. So why not rest him to use him for the knockout round, which you're definitely going to need him. He's got some type of calf injury where rest is going to be paramount to get it better. So no real reason to put him in.
My soccer insiders have told me that he will be back for the knockout round.
Your soccer insiders.
My soccer insiders, JP, have told me that he will be made available for the knockout round because that's more important.
Is that Tiffany at the local bar? Is that where you got that?
Rose down here at Mikosina.
Rose,
Yeah.
okay. Just
the bartender at Mikosina.
Yeah, I didn't know if you wanted to name your sources, but evidently you did. So anyway, Rick said, did Turkey get a divorce and get a name change? Maybe. I don't know.
Is that like us changing our name to the United States of America?
Yeah, maybe.
I don't understand. What are we doing?
I'm confused. So anything you guys want to bring to the table, please feel free. All right, let's start with the Rays and, playing the Royals, the lowly Royals. Watching the game last night, a 2-1 snooze fest. And you're just watching at bat after at bat for the Rays, and it's just a lot of nothing. Michael Waka. He's been okay. He's got a 3.63 ERA, but it's like you're watching the pitch and like, this is not devastating stuff. This is not, sometimes you watch guys throw and you're like, how the heck? I mean, we face Tolly, big boy. He's just throwing, touching 98, 99, big sweeper, big guy, just kind of intimidating. And you could see the stuff. It's like, okay, we could struggle with this guy. I get it. But Michael Waka, just a, mid-30s, kind of nothing. I mean, it's a control guy. It's kind of a lot, kind of a, I don't want to say a Nick Martinez thing because he's been way better. Maybe regressing to the mean a little bit.
Nick Martinez.
Yeah, he's not as good. So nothing special. I think he lost his last 7 decisions, even though his ERA is pretty good. This is not a great Royals team. These are games, that you should win. And they were winning. They won 9 of their first 11 one-run games, and since then it's been 6 of 7 that they've lost. And just, they put some guys on base at times and just not come up with the big hit. That really wasn't they were not good with runners in scoring position last night, but they didn't get a whole lot of people on either. But the risk has been what did Big O say? 5 for 29 in their last 5 for 29. That ain't going to get it done. Yeah. Big O will join us, by the way, at the end of the show to break that down a little bit. But it's just, and we've complained about this a lot, Timmy, but I don't know what the hell they're doing with Caminero. They're just, he's not seeing any strikes. He sees less strikes than anybody in baseball. And, it's not like they're even trying to protect him. You want to try Ryan Valade. We've had Chandler Simpson batting behind him. We've had, Mullins in the 3-hole. Just some of these lineups are just bizarre. And I just, at some point, can we not just do something different with Caminero and kind of stick with it? It's the bouncing around is not really producing the offense that you wanted to. And I got, to me, Aranda behind Caminero just makes way too much sense. He's a more disciplined hitter. He'll be much better in terms of not expanding his strike zone if they want to pitch around him. Yeah. We keep saying we love Yandy in the 1 hole, but how many RBIs is Yandy going to get? I haven't done this numbers, and what are you smart people out there? I'm sure you got these numbers. With the amount of hits that Yandy gets and his extra base hits, are his RBIs commensurate with other players that have done that? I would think batting in that leadoff position and you get into the game and you've got all, the 6, 7, 8, 9 hitters for the Rays are not great and they're not getting on base for him. And obviously at the beginning of the game, there's nobody on base in your first at bat. For a team that's really struggling to score runs, do you want your best hitter in the leadoff position where typically nobody's going to be on base in front of him because your weakest hitters are in front of him in the lineup? I don't get that part. I think Yandy would be a great 2-hole hitter, a great 3-hole hitter. Could you do Yandy, Caminero, Aranda? I mean, I know you want to go left, right, left, but is that more important than having protection and putting your 3 best hitters in a row where they're going to, Caminero especially, is going to see more strikes? And if that guy ahead of him, whoever you want to put up there, If you want to put Johnny DeLuca up there, I'd like Chandler Simpson at the top of the lineup. I know he struggled a little bit, but who's better? Just get him comfortable there in that role and just leave him there. I think that's your best chance to develop, because if he can develop into that quintessential leadoff hitter, I don't get the advantage of batting in 5th, 6th, 7th. I don't get that at all. Maybe just go with that lineup. Simpson, Yandy, Caminero, Aranda, and see where it goes. And just stick with it, and then kind of fill it out. You want to put Valade and Mullins behind them, then fine. But just stick with that order and see where it goes for a good 3 weeks. Because, it just seems like they're not making the most of, they don't have a lot, and they're not making the most of it. Mm-hmm. Kurt Thorson says, Kevin Cash managed Rays have a reputation of taking the bulk of summer off, extended all-star break. Also, they're egregiously playing down to their inferior competition. Sad to watch. That is true. And you could just see it in the way they play. I mean, if you watch every game like we do, man, when they're playing the Red Sox, when they're playing the Yankees, when they're playing the Dodgers, you just see a different energy with this team. And too many times have I've seen them go up against a Michael Wacha team and they just walk to the plate with just shitty at bat after shitty at bat. And there's just doesn't seem to be any fire or focus to it. I don't know. But I think you're playing with fire with Junior right now, just leaving him out there so exposed. And I know that people get on him, but as a 22-year-old who's the cornerstone of your future, I think you got to be. It's kind of like when you get a good young quarterback, it's got to be all about him and what's going to make him the best and him better. And I don't think we're doing that. I don't think we're even close. When you're batting Chandler Simpson behind him, that just makes zero sense. And I don't know how they construct these lineups. I'm sure there's a lot of, of the 52 analytics guys, they're trying to figure it out, but it ain't working. I mean, you just got to be better than what you're seeing against the teams like this. When you face elite pitching, I get it. This team is definitely going to struggle against elite pitching. But when you face a guy like Wacha and that's all you can do, I mean, that's sad. That's sad. They pinch run late and the guy gets thrown out by 6 feet. I mean, that was ugly. Not that was good. Ugly. Yeah. Yeah. It's just not good. I mean, I get being aggressive there, but it just didn't. You're not executing.
It's not smart baseball.
Steve Mike says Cash is comfortable, stale, time for a change. I don't know about that. I'm not a big, it's a results-oriented business, and his results have been pretty damn good. I think you can look at a lot of places on this baseball operation side, and start with Eric Neander. There's been a lot of misses lately. I love Eric, and I think he's on balance done a great job, and he's had both of his hands tied behind his back most of his career. I think there's a little bit more leeway now, but not huge. Obviously, they still have one of the lowest payrolls in the league. It's over $100 million for the first time, and it's going to take some time to get there. This ownership group's dealing with a lot. We've talked about that. But still, let's evaluate some of the moves lately, and they haven't been great. The free agent signings, listen, Nick Martinez was great. And for $13 million, we're getting a lot out of him. Can he continue to pitch at that level? We'll see. He's coming back to earth a little bit. Obviously the Gavin Lux deal has been a disaster. That's injury related. It's hard to evaluate that until the guy can play. But you gave up a lot in this offseason, and what have you really gotten back? You got a lot of prospects, which is good, and you can deal them at the deadline, and I think they have an opportunity to do that. But this offense is just, we've gone back and forth with O, and we talked about our priorities. He likes pitching, and I'm like, we got to get a bat. And he said that from the very beginning. We said that in this offseason. A big bat, outfielder hitting bat was your number one priority, and you didn't get it. You didn't get it. With all the things that you traded this offseason, the number one thing you needed was a power hitting outfield bat, and you didn't get it. I mean, you may have thought you got it in Fraley. We get nothing out of that. But did you really think Mullins was going to bounce back for the 30 homer season, 25 homer season? That remains to be seen, but on balance for the whole year, not great. I mean, where's the offense going to come from, especially in the playoffs with when you're facing elite pitching? That's not great. St. Pete Pat says, doesn't Cash have a history of playing around with the batting order in the first half of the year and then deciding on a more regular lineup later on? Maybe.
Or is that just an excuse that we're using?
To me, it seems like it's always in flux. It's like anything else. It feels good when it's working, but when it's not, it looks really bad. I think Junior is your Tom Brady, and we're not even giving it. It's like, going and getting Brady and not giving him any weapons or no offensive line. When he's got no protection in the lineup and you're not even trying to put your best hitters behind him, I mean, what are we really doing? We're saying, oh, he's good enough, he can handle it. No, it's not working. He hasn't had an extra base hit in a week. And he sees less strikes than anybody in baseball. This is pretty like factual stuff here that this is a no-brainer. You got to get him some protection. And if you have somebody in this lineup that can hit regularly and hit with some power, that would be Aranda or Yandy. But they're always in front of him. And it's the guys behind him. Valade will run into one every now and then, but does he really scare you? Williamson will find it, every now and then, but does he really scare you? No. The only guys that are Aranda and Yandy. So I just maybe try something different.
So when you look at the Rays' performance, obviously the one-run games scream at you, right? Like that's the obvious thing to look at. They've lost 7 of 10. 6 of those 7 losses were in one-run games.
Right.
But, a lot of times you can look at a good team and say, man, that they're just on an unlucky streak right now. Those one-run losses, it's just been unlucky. But for the Rays, it feels like you can kind of look at underlying reasons that you're losing those. Situational hitting has been bad.
Yes.
The bullpen's been bad. They're making mistakes offensively and defensively in tight spots of games. They go over 7 last night with runners in scoring position.
Yeah.
In a 2-1 loss where Rasmussen gives you 6 innings and 2 runs and you can't cash in. So when you look at these,
he gave up 4 hits last night and lost the game.
When you look at all of that and you look at those situational hitting issues and these mistakes in tight spots that we're talking about, is that a result of shifting the lineup so much because guys can't settle in and guys can't get comfortable in a spot? Is this Kevin Cash's issue?
I think that's fair.
Yeah. I mean, you have to look at that.
Yeah. I think that all that's fair. It's just, did you go out and get a ton of great offensive players? No. You were going to build this on pitching and defense. And defensively, they haven't been great. They just haven't been great. I love Chandler Simpson as a player, but his arm in left field is a liability. That's why I think that's why he came up as a second baseman, and the Rays shifted him to outfield. I don't know if that was the greatest move, and I know we've built around now that we have other second basemen, so that you can't really turn around and change that. But something's got to change. They got to find something just from a batting order sense that is a little bit more consistent and guys can settle in. I mean, Orestes can talk to that more because he's played the game and he knows what it's like. And in his time, they didn't mess around like that. He was the 3, 4, 5 hitter, and that was coming to the park every day. And you knew you were counted on to drive in runs, and that was your mentality. And that's what you honed your entire career. And, when you're at different places in the order, you're asked to do different things. And you can't really lock in on what your role is. I mean, you look at the last, so last night they lose 2-1. They beat the Nationals 4-3. They lost the Nationals 4-3. They beat them 5-2. I mean, look at what they're scoring. against the Dodgers. They scored 4 runs and a loss. They scored no runs and a loss. They scored 3 runs and a loss. They beat the Angels 8-3. That's the last time they've scored 8 runs, and they haven't scored more than 4 runs in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 games. They've scored 5 or more runs twice in the last 15 games.
I'm going back. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good. That's just not good. So I think he's got to try to find a little bit more offense in what he's working with, and they've got to go out and make some changes at the deadline and bring in at least one big bat. Devin Garnett says, "Is Gavin Lux or Joe Boyle ever going to play again?" I mean, yeah, some of these. And was he hurt when we got him? I don't know. Steve Mike says Diaz is by far our best player. Yeah, he is, but you're not building around him for the future. You know what I'm saying? Like, Junior is your future. Yeah. Did not just happen. The Bucks have just announced their new radio voice, Tony Castricone via the Washington Huskies.
What are we doing? Is that official or is that a rumor?
Let me look at my email. Kurt's on top of his shit, so
yeah. That's not what we wanted to hear.
No,
at all.
Yeah, it just came over the email.
Oh my goodness!
And I don't know him from Adam. He's probably, probably
great. Yeah. But we got a local guy that's pretty good too.
Yeah, the TJ Reeves.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say his name, but yeah.
No, we'll say his name. Listen, this is we're not gonna sugarcoat this. This is personal.
Yeah.
I've known TJ for 30 years, and he's put in his time.
Definitely.
He's put in his time, and he could have gone other places and, honed a career that way, and certainly did not think that Gene would go this far. I mean, listen, I've been in positions like this before, and it's a waiting game, and you're trying to be as respectful as you can. Your family is here. You don't want to leave the market. It's real, but you want to be there because you want to be here for your kids. You don't, these are natural progressions that used to be really easy in this world. And now it seems that they're not. Same thing happened at Florida State when Tom Block, my longtime protege, got passed over after Gene left there. And for a guy who's done a really nice job, but Tom could have done a great job. And it's consistency. The fans, known you, they've trusted you for a long time. I don't know who Tony Castricone is. He's a veteran broadcaster, more than 2 decades of experience. Most recently spent 9 seasons as director of broadcasting at the radio voice of the University of Washington. Previously served as the voice of Clemson's men basketball, held content leadership positions with IMG College. During his career, he's called championship caliber teams, games. Following a comprehensive national search, we are thrilled to welcome Tony to the Buccaneers, said COO Brian Ford. Tony's distinguished himself with his professionalism, preparation, passion, and ability to connect with audiences. He understands the responsibility that comes with the role, blah, 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 blah.
And look, that's not the point. His experience isn't the point. They're not going to hire somebody bad. Of course, he's going to be really good. I mean, that's the expectation. They're not going to hire somebody.
And there's not one mention of TJ in this.
No.
He joins longtime analyst and former Buccaneers tight end Dave Moore, who enters his 20th season. Okay, no, so do we have a new sideline person? I love Brian Ford. That he's a good friend. We love the Bucs, but this is not going to go over well with the fan base.
No. Or possibly the local media.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this at all.
Well, that sort of derailed our first segment, didn't it?
Yeah, but it's, come on now. There's something that's really, thanks, Kurt, for tipping us off on that.
Yeah.
There's something to me that is important about depth of knowledge. Okay. Listen, Mr. Castricone can prepare all he wants. He doesn't have the stories and the experiences that TJ Reeves has from being on the road with this team for the last 20 years. And you're just kicking that out the door. Like it doesn't matter.
Saying it doesn't matter. Yeah.
I think it's disrespectful to the fans. It's certainly shitty for TJ. I mean, that's just bullshit. Sorry, Brian. You know I love you, brother. And I'm sure a lot of this was above his pay grade as well. You know, the Glazers obviously had a say in this.
Do they? Do they get involved in stuff like that?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah. Something as big as this. Yeah. I mean, how many games do you listen to on the radio? You don't really, but they're just, that person is omnipresent. The calls are, it just, I think a lot of people listen to the radio at the game. But just in general, you're always watching it on TV, but you hear the calls later on and they're iconic and all those things. But, it's the other coaches shows and other things that you do that are part of it. I don't think Gene did a lot of that, but especially in his later years. And I'm not even sure that Casey handles most of that. And looks like, I'm guessing Casey will step in at sideline if TJ's not doing it, which is, he's not even mentioned in this press release. Yeah, listen, it's personal for me. So I'm trying to not, even being objective, I think it's a very poor choice, and not because of the person, but because who you didn't hire.
Yeah. And you know what? Don't undersell people listening to radio while they're watching their TVs. In Dallas, that is a huge, we have our own version of Gene Deckerhoff here in Dallas. Brad Sham has been calling games either as the analyst or the play-by-play guy since the mid-70s.
Yeah.
He started out as an analyst next to Vern Lundquist, who used to be our play-by-play guy in the 70s.
Right.
And when Vern went on to CBS, Brad stepped in. And, we've had a litany of guys behind him doing color, but there's a whole contingent of fans in Dallas that, for whatever reason, you don't like the play-by-play guy that you're on. And look, the Cowboys always get the top tier duo on whatever network it's on, just because when they're on.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't like them, which a lot of Cowboys fans are loyal to Brad, they'll turn down the volume on the TV and they will sync up the radio broadcast in the house.
Yeah. A lot of people are, a lot of entities now are giving you extra, different platforms to listen to the audio of your choice.
Alternate audio
for you. Yeah. So it's becoming more important. So, but again, the depth of knowledge that TJ brings from being on the road with these teams and the stories that he weaves into all the games and everything else, that's just something that this new guy's just never going to have.
No.
He can't buy it. He can't study it. He can't do it. It's not possible. And you're just throwing it away like it doesn't matter. No, this is not.
Seems very sketchy.
Yeah. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Why don't you reach out to TJ? I mean, I know he's not going to come on. He's not going to come on.
I know I texted with him earlier this week, and he was going on a cruise, and now I know why. He probably didn't want to be around when this was. I mean, this is crush. This is crush.
Yeah.
It was a lifelong dream.
He was,
to become the voice of an NFL team. He's been here for his whole life. His kids have grown up through this. He's waited his turn patiently. No, I'm not happy about this at all.
It's just bizarre, isn't it?
No, it's not. It's not in this day and age, because experience and things like that, they don't matter anymore, man. And I think you're wrong. And when I see Brian, I will tell him just a very poor decision, in my opinion. He knows that. He knows there's going to be a lot of fans that are pissed off about
There's going to
this.
be backlash. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I just, I don't, I mean, sometimes we make decisions harder than they should be. This was a layup. TJ's a hard worker. He busts his ass. He's got the level of knowledge. I hope, I'm not going to say it.
And look, I'll even say this. I've experienced this a few times at a couple of different locations, a couple of different programs, a couple of different teams. The longer this thing took for them to announce, it seems like the less and less it was going to be who we wanted it to be. Because otherwise, Gene announces his retirement. You give it a week, let everybody celebrate Gene, and then you go right into it. Hey, our new play-by-play guy, we're keeping it in family. He's coming up to the booth. But the longer this thing, we didn't hear anything, the less good I felt about it.
I mean, what like, and when did putting in your dues become meaningless? Like when did that become meaningless? Listen, I know I'm an older guy and I've been around and we all get replaced at some time. I get that. But, who has more energy than TJ Reeves? The dude he's ready to go. He's been waiting for this all his life. He's been preparing for it. He's the perfect guy to do it. Steps right in. He knows everybody in the building, knows everybody. Like, what are we doing? This is an easy one.
Danny Boyd says that Sham's been with the Cowboys the voice of the Cowboys since '84. That's correct, because that's when Vern Lundquist left for CBS. But Sham has been with the Cowboys since '76. That's when he became the color analyst alongside Vern Lundquist. So yeah, no, Sham's been here forever. We have our own Gene Deckerhoff here.
Yeah,
and it's
is there a likely, like, is there a guy that's been there forever like a TJ that would be the next in line? Yeah.
Nope. Yeah,
this was a no-brainer. This was a no-brainer. And
we've had the girl. Our TJ Reeves here is a girl, Christy Scales, and she's really good at her job. She'll never be a play-by-play, ever be considered for that. So, I don't know, but it's a sad day, man. I'm not gonna lie. I'm already trying to figure out how I'm going to spin the article I write at FanStream Sports. Because
you can use my quotes.
I will. And I'm going to link to this segment right here. I'm going to block this off and I'm going to publish it with the article that I write, because I don't really know how I'm going to be very nice. But I don't want to be mean. I'm not going to be mean. I'm going to try to be objective here.
Yeah. And, he obviously has some business accolades here as well as director of broadcasting. So maybe he's done some other things for the radio network in terms of sales and other things. It's just, I don't think that should be part of this. This is an iconic performance position. You got people to do sales and run it. Jeff Ryan's been doing that forever. He does a kick-ass job. You don't need any of that. You just need an iconic voice that the fans are used to. Like, that's another thing. Like, when we replaced Gene Deckerhoff at this, I wish I knew the guy's name. He's a really nice dude. I've met him, does a great job. But that was Tom Blocks. And I don't think that guy, this new guy, has come in and, I don't think people are knocking down their doors to listen to him.
Yeah.
But that was there was some business stuff involved in that. And I get it. It's a lower level and they do sales, and that's part of it. And that's, and then the guy does a good job with that, I'm sure. That's not what this is. This is about iconic voices that people know, experience, knowledge. And you just threw that away with not hiring TJ. I think it's disrespectful to the fans. I really do.
There's a chance he's not even on the team anymore, right? Like,
yeah,
how do you, I don't know. I can't imagine what he's struggling with right now internally.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel for you, brother. Golly. I know how it feels. Trust me. I know how it feels. All right. Let's take a break. We'll come back. Help me compose myself. We get back and we'll talk a little bit more some Buccaneers, some Valspar I want to get to. You guys are bringing up some things I want to get to as well. We're brought to you by the great folks at Pitch Roofing, pitchroofing.com. Here's the deal. Hurricane season is on its way, or I guess is already here, right? We got some storms out there.
Yeah.
If something bad were to happen here, everybody's going to be looking for a roofer, right? So get to know your roofer now. This is if you're a homeowner, put this on your to-do list, all right? Call Pitch Roofing. Get a free estimate. Great folks. They come out. They tell you, they'll look at your roof. They'll inspect it for free. Tell you if you got any damage. Tell you the life of your roof, when you should be expecting to put a new roof on, what it's going to cost. You might want to start saving. And if there is a hurricane, you want to get on the preferred client list so that you will know who your roofer is right away, and you can get repairs started as quickly as possible. That's going to be really, really important. PitchRoofing.com. Great folks over there. Back in 3. Pitch Roofing believes giving back is part of doing business the right way. That's why they proudly offer exclusive discounts to those who gave the most to our communities, including veterans, first responders, seniors, and teachers. And for listeners of the JP Peterson Show, there's even more good news. Pitch Roofing is now offering a special discount just for fans of the show. With so many roofing companies coming and going in Florida, it's important to choose a contractor you can count on long after the job is done, especially when it comes to honoring your warranty. Pitch Roofing is built for the long haul with a reputation for quality, transparency, and standing behind their work. Whether it's a repair or a full replacement, their team delivers honest guidance, quality workmanship, and no high-pressure sales. Call 727-67-PITCH, 727-677-4824, or visit pitchroofing.com to schedule a free estimate.
Pitch Roofing, roofing done right.
Big thanks to Italiano Insurance, the great folks over there. They will soon be part of Gallagher Insurance. A little name change, but same great folks, same great customer service you've known for over 65 years. They do all the work. You save all the money. ItalianoInsurance.com at 813-877-7799. Hey, guys, you already know that Riveters is the best sports bar in all of Tampa Bay, but now it gets even better for Rays baseball season. During all Rays games, check this out, $6 Tito's, $6 Jack, $6 margaritas, all during Rays games. Are you kidding me? And that's always a great pour from the great bartenders at Riveters. Great service, great food, everything is fresh, nothing is frozen. And let me tell you, if you want baseball and wings, you will not find any better than Riveters. Their sauces, like the blue cheese and the ranch, and everything is handmade, and the wings are big, and they're perfect. Wings, baseball, Rays, Riveters. It all comes together during baseball season. Once again, in addition to all the great food and service you get, $6 Tito's, $6 Jacks, $6 margaritas. It's time to celebrate. Baseball season is back, and celebrate at Riveters. You know where it is, right there on Dale Mabry, just north of 275, just south of the stadium. See you there at Riveters. Hey, the Golden Diamond Source wants to be your family jeweler, so don't wait any longer to find that one-of-a-kind perfect engagement ring for that special someone in your life. At the Golden Diamond Source, they can design anything you want personally. The Golden Diamond Source can help you trade in your old broken jewelry and use it towards a new purchase as well. And with gold prices at record high, now is the best time to do it. They only sell natural diamonds at the Golden Diamond Source, so if it's a real love, it should be a real natural diamond. Don't start your relationship with a fake diamond. Bad idea. And with the Golden Diamond Source first-time buyer program, you can learn all about the 4 C's in all the different shapes and styles. And they are able to show you a huge selection of inventory to choose from. And don't forget, 0% financing for up to 5 years. If you finance $5,000, it's only $83 a month. Make sure it's a Golden Diamond Source diamond, 3800 Almerton Road, always online at goldendiamond.com.
It's a love you give only at Golden Diamond Source.
Hey, JP here for Genesis of Tampa and the Murphy Auto Group. I think the best way to experience a business is to use that business. And I just did at Genesis of Tampa. Just bought a GV70, a 2023, and it feels and drives all new. It's an absolutely fantastic car. The technology, the comfort, and the price, absolutely outstanding. Frankly, I never thought I could get into a car like this, but they made me a deal I could not refuse. And I also get the VIP service where you can just drive right up, their pit stop service. They'll top off all the fluids, make sure your air in your tires is good, new wipers if you want them. If you need extended service, they will come to you, bring you a courtesy car, and then bring your car back. What more do you want? The experience was just VIP all the way. And you can get that at Genesis of Tampa. And don't forget, you can get extended warranty, which I did. So I have worry-free miles up to 100,000, and all they do is just take it in. Actually, I don't have to take it in. They come to me. It's perfect. It's Genesis of Tampa right there, 801 East Bears Avenue, right off of 275. Go see them and tell them JP sent you.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
Welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by our first hour presenter, Genesis of Tampa. But they are doing deals over there. I got the GV70 a few months ago. Absolutely love it. Fantastic. The ride, the technology, pretty damn good gas mileage as well. I'm surprised at that. Getting like 26, 27 on the highway. Pretty damn good. By the way, paid $3.37 for gas this morning. Hello. Good to know. But listen, Genesis of Tampa is where it's all at, and they're giving away free gas until October. So if you buy a vehicle right now, you get free gas till October. Genesis of Tampa, they're making deals, giving you great trade-ins for the absolute best in the market cars. The Genesis products are absolutely fantastic. Go test drive them. Tell them JP sent you.
JP,
All right.
you want to know how much I paid for gas this morning here in Texas?
Yes, I do. As a matter of fact.
And I put the mid grade in my Mercedes. I got to put the 89. Actually, it's supposed to be the 92, but screw it. I'll do the 89. $2.79 a gallon, sir.
$2.79.
That's about normal. If it hits $3, or there's something wrong.
Really?
Yeah, gas is always cheap here in Texas.
Well, that's pretty damn good.
Should drive here to fill up.
Yeah, we got a lot of gas tax here. We really do. Yeah, I don't think that would make economic sense, but
and then just go home.
Yeah. Nathan Elliott gave us the heads up earlier too. Castriconi's the new radio play-by-play announcer. Do either of you two know this guy? No, nobody knows him. He's from the West Coast. Come on now.
Huh.
I had to bite my tongue here.
Ruin the day.
Yeah. Danny Boy said, did you see how the Argentines took over Jerry World yesterday? How about that? Messi setting the record for the World Cup. He is playing awesome. 39 years
allowed
old.
To call it that. I think you have to call it Dallas Stadium.
No, we're not doing that. We don't have to call it anything.
Wait, Messi played here? He was in Dallas? I'm sorry, he was in Arlington?
Yeah, forget it.
I didn't watch that. Is that really impressive?
I saw the Scots are taking over Miami now. That's fan. The Tartan Army is now moved down to Miami. They are the talk of the World Cup.
By the way, we talked yesterday about how all of the Europeans are wanting to take ranch dressing home with them because they don't have it. And you were like, well, what's the issue with that? The problem is they're all trying to smuggle them home in like 32 and 40 ounce jugs.
They get like the big vats of ranch dressing.
TSA won't allow anything over 4 ounces.
Yeah.
So
you can't
that's
do that,
the problem.
Folks. Yeah. Cannot do that, folks. Wow. James Rexroot says Cash doesn't do the lineup. That's the problem. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Kids at the hospital.
Yeah. I don't know what the hell's going on with that. Yeah. Hey, by the way, Brian Engbaum is going to join us at 11:15.
Oh,
texted him this morning. Yeah.
My birthday.
Yeah. Is it your birthday?
No, but it is. Every time Brian comes on, it feels like my birthday.
Yeah. Looking forward to. So we'll have Brian at 11:15, Tracy at 11:35 from Valspar. So we'll back those up back-to-back interviews. I wanted Brian to come on and talk about the Kachuk brothers down in the maybe kind of wrap up the Stanley Cup, what he thought of the Carolina, the Darren Radish trade, what talk of Carlson coming to Tampa Bay, what moves might be made, what he thinks the Lightning need to do to get past the first round. Right. So we got lots to cover with
Brian about Connor McDavid.
I think I will ask him about Connor McDavid.
How overrated he is.
Get out of here. What are you even talking, dude? Some of your takes, man.
I'm just kidding. I love Connor McDavid.
They're bananas.
The show's going too smooth. I got to pull us in the ditch a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Steve Mike's like, man, our teams are going down the tube. The Rays, the Bucks, the Lightning. I think that's a little strong. Look, if you look at the three teams right now, look, the Rays are in second place, solid wild card position. Look like they're going to the playoffs. A new stadium on the horizon, new ballpark, all that. I mean, I'm bullish on the Rays right now. I'm very bullish on the Rays. New owners. Look, they've gotten into a little bit of a tailspin on the field. It is what it is. This is not a great baseball team, but they're on their way to the playoffs. I mean, I think I would be very positive about what's going on with the Rays overall. I think you got a great manager. I think you got a great new ownership team. Hopefully a new stadium on the way. The Trop has been alive this year, better than it's ever been. There's more life in the Trop than I've seen in 20 years at that place. They're playing, they're playing decent baseball, but way better than a lot of other teams in this league. They've hit a bit of a lull. I get that. This is totally expected. But I think in general, I'm very bullish on the Rays. Very bullish. The Bucks, look, I love what they've done a lot of what they've done in the offseason. Retaining the head coach. I think they've kicked ass. We're on record as saying that. I think they've done a lot of really good things. And I think the Baker thing needs to get taken care of. By the way, I've heard some people talk and a lot of folks online, maybe not a lot, shit talking Baker. I mean, what are you doing?
Why?
Because he's not freaking Tom Brady, I guess.
Well, who is?
He's not Patrick Mahomes. We want better.
We got two of those guys in the world.
Right.
It's not going to happen.
I think you people are a little bit over your skis here. You should thank the freaking Lord you got Baker Mayfield, and he's going to be around here for a while. And if we're smart, we'll sign him to a 4 or 5 year deal. Listen, he ain't perfect. I got news for you. None of them are.
Neither
Look at
is
the
Patrick
season
Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes had last year. He sucked.
Yeah.
Sucked. And then got hurt. Playing quarterback's hard in this league. Really freaking hard. And it's tough to be consistently good. There's a lot of things going on around you that you don't have control of. Did Baker, make some bad throws last year? Yeah. He's not in my top 10 as issues for this team. He's a positive.
Yeah, he's one of the solutions. He's not one of the problems. And look,
go ahead.
For all of you Baker haters out there, you know what the alternative was when Baker signed? It was going to be Kyle Trask. Is that who you want on this team? He can't even get a job in the NFL right now.
David Carr, at the time he came here. We talked about David Carr coming here, and I was like, okay, I can see that.
Wait, Derek Carr or David Carr?
Derek,
right? David would have been really old.
Yeah. No, it's just like we talked about that. That was a complete miss by the Saints. Kirk Cousins. People wanted Kirk Cousins. Look at that.
I would have taken Derek Carr. I think he was more a product of the Saints than he was anything else.
Yeah. I think he would have been fine, but Baker's knocked it out of the fucking park.
But he's no Baker at all.
Right. In fact, his fit here, I don't know if people, the personality of Derek Carr would have won people over. Baker's been fantastic. He fits his market perfectly. He wants to be here. That's something that wasn't always the case. I think there are at least 20 other teams. I don't know. I don't get the numbers, but I think he's a top 10 quarterback in this league, and that's good enough. And if you want to go out and start chasing young quarterbacks or other retreads, you can do that if you want. I know what we've got in Baker Mayfield, and it's good enough to win a Super Bowl, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. And if you got one of those guys, you don't waste time trying to go find another guy. Oh, we should just start over and start, get a guy in the 27 draft. All right, who you getting? Give me a name. And where are we going to be picking? We're probably going to be picking in the 15 to 25 range because this division sucks, and we should win at least 8 games by default. Come on now. What you do is you get your quarterback, you sign him to a 4 or 5 year deal. What did I say? 5 year deal with the the last year kind of an open ended deal there. Give him 180 guaranteed and get the deal done, and let's move on. You got a guy who's wholly committed to you, can go out there and play his ass off without fear of injury. Yeah. Right now, he's got to play with that in the back of his mind. And that's not where I want my quarterback. I don't want his mind space there. I want Baker Mayfield all in because then I get the best Baker. At this point, you're not getting, I don't care what you say, and he can say, I'm going to play my ass off. You know how I play. You know how I prepare. I get all that. It's not the same. It's not the same. Lock him up, get it done, move on. Quarterbacks are expensive. We get it. Go out and fill out the roster. That's your job, Jason Light. I think he's done a great job of that. Pay him and move on. And I'd like the Glazers to show a little bit more commitment in terms of signing the other players, redoing some contracts, and spending some cash. You're rich enough. You got plenty of money. Let's get back on it. I'm a little upset with the Bucs organization right now on multiple fronts.
I can tell. I think we both are.
On multiple fronts. And I'm trying to, do my best. But I could see a rant coming here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Crossing my
Kurt
fingers.
says people bitching about Baker Mayfield are also the city council meetings bitching about potholes and sidewalks. Amen, brother. Amen. Aviation says they did TJ dirty. Dang. Aviation says is Sorsby going for a third? Why would they not go get him? I teased this the other day. I was listening to Jordan Rodgers. I respect him talking about quarterbacks. I think he does really good deep dive work on college quarterbacks. And he really communicates it very well as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw him do a spot on Sorsby and showing some of his throws. And he said, he's charted all his throws and he throws with great anticipation. He's got a big arm. He's 6'3", 235. He can throw off platform, has great touch on the deep ball. He can layer the ball. He's a very, very he said he's like in the last 5 years, most talented passer that he's seen. That's a pretty big compliment right there.
Yeah.
And, as much as I love Baker Mayfield, I have no problem, getting a backup quarterback that's got that kind of talent. I would put in a third rounder for him, but you ain't going to get him for that. Somebody's going to give up a second. Somebody might give up a first. Now, I think there have been 20 quarterbacks drafted in the last 2 years in the first, second, or third rounds. So you got 20 teams that have invested, a somewhat premium pick or somewhat premium pick in a backup quarterback or a future quarterback. So I take those teams probably off the list. So you probably got 10 teams, 10 to 12 teams that might be interested in Sorsby. And I think it's going to take at least a second round pick. Would I give up a second round pick for Brendan Sorsby at this point if I'm the Buccaneers?
It's a flyer.
While I'm doing a contract with Baker Mayfield, I don't think that puts Baker in the best mind space, to be honest. I think that would signal to him, hey, they're not going to give me a long-term deal. They're going to franchise me if I play well this year. So basically, I got to play 2 years with no injury guarantee. And that fucking sucks if you're a quarterback. Now, he's going to make $90 million. He'd probably make $90 million in that situation, but that's not 180 guaranteed.
Yeah, but that's how the NFL works these days.
I get it. Doesn't mean I have to be. It's not the way it has to work. That's not the rule. If the Bucs wanted to invest in me for 4 or 5 years, they're allowed to do so. And if they choose not to, they haven't done it yet. But if they choose not to, and you're asking Baker to play the way he plays for 2 years without injury guarantee, I think that's bad management. But at the same time, quarterback, if you're going to play Baker Mayfield, if you want all Baker, then commit to him.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
If you want him to play for 2 years, and listen, they can do it. They can absolutely do it. But it's not putting your quarterback in the best headspace. And I think that matters. But at the same time, especially the way Baker plays. You want him to be all in and play reckless and all that, but you don't want to guarantee him, a 4-year, $180 million. If you franchise him, you're gonna have to pay him $50 anyway. So I would. That's the way I would play it. But the Bucs are doing a lot of things I would not do right now. They're doing a lot of things I would not do right now. I think the way they played this stadium situation is not cool. And I love the Bucs over there. I love Brian Ford, but the way they've done their stadium deal here has not been great for Tampa Bay. I hate saying that, but that's where my heart is. To come to the table late and then, the TSA, just to think that they didn't have anything to do with that TSA letter is kind of silly. Of course they did. And that's, and they don't want to comment on it. Of course they don't. So, I don't think that was the best way to play it. In terms of its best way for them, in their best interest, 100%. And that's what Brian Ford's job is. That's what their job is. But as community citizens, which I think they have been outstanding in this realm, absolutely outstanding on so many levels. The way they played this, not really great. The way they're, playing the Baker thing, I would commit to him. I want the best of Baker. You either commit to him or don't. And trying to play it down the middle, not great. I don't think they played the Liam Cohen, Todd Bowles thing great. I think they screwed that up. I think Liam Cohen should be the head coach of this team right now, and I think they'd be a way better football team. And they'd probably still have Mike Evans. That's just my opinion. And, some of this is ownership. A lot of this is ownership. Some of it's Jason Light. I think the majority of it is ownership. And I don't like the way they played this TJ deal. I'm not happy. I'm not happy about any of it. Not happy about any of it. So that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. Doesn't make me right. Doesn't make me wrong. But we'll see how it plays out. But as far as these major decisions that they've made recently, not a big fan. Not a big fan. Kurt Thorson said the Scots took over Marlins Stadium, 20,000, biggest crowd since World Baseball Classic. The Rays had 20,000 back-to-back days last weekend. It's been alive, man. The Trop has been alive, and that's stuff we've been missing for 20 years, folks. And I've talked about it for that long. We've never marketed this team. And now look what's happening. People are showing up at the Trop. Now, I'm not saying St. Pete's the answer because it's not. But I am going to absolutely acknowledge that. Still better off in Tampa. But that just means how much better this is going to be in Tampa when we have a real ownership group with an iconic stadium in the middle of the market actually marketing the team. That's where we need to be. Not half-assing it. And we're damn close to getting that done. Very excited about that. All right, Rick says, if this came down to money, then this screams cheapness by the Glazers, just like free agency. You mean in terms of TJ? No, this is not about money. This is chump. No disrespect. But these radio jobs are chump change compared to what they spend on other stuff. This has nothing to do with money. God, I hope. I hope not. Brandon, go ahead.
Is it maybe an 8? I don't know how old Tony Conigliaro is or whatever his name is. I don't know how, is he maybe a younger pup? And I mean, we know how old TJ is.
He's been around a long time. I don't think he's young. That veteran broadcaster, two decades of experience. So he's in his 40s, maybe.
All right. So no age discrimination maybe going on here.
Well, maybe. I mean, TJ's what, 57, I think.
Our age, right? Or my age, I think.
Yeah. I think he's like 57. He's younger than me. Castricone, I'm thinking that doesn't have a name, doesn't have a number here, but it's 20 years experience.
All right.
When did he start? Starting a career? There's not a whole lot of timeline here. So I'm probably saying mid 40s.
Sounds sketchy. Is he even a real person? Do we even know?
Is he AI?
Is he AI? Is he AI?
Yeah. He's got absolutely no connections to the Bucks. None.
He's got some connections to some players, right? They got a lot of Washington guys on the roster.
Oh, come on now. I mean,
I'm just throwing it out there.
Vita. Okay, we got Washington players now. I'm all grumpy the rest of the day. All right, what else we got here? Stephen Mike says the Glazers are making bad decisions keeping Bowles. Now this, WTF? Yeah,
maybe
we got a lot of reaction this year.
Hey, maybe the plan is for when Bowles retires next offseason, they're going to put him in the booth, and maybe they didn't think Bowles and TJ would be a good pairing.
Maybe there's some politics to this. I don't know.
I'm just saying. It's always politics, though. It's always that. Good or bad. It's always
Steve
politics.
says Junior Cab sucks. He grounds into a double play every time. All right, Steve, Mike, we're gonna have a little conversation here, my friend. You with for two first names. Thank you for that, though. Listen, Junior Caminero is on a short list of the youngest players to ever hit 45 home runs. He has got, and the numbers on that, the names on that list are all iconic Hall of Famers, all of them. Last year's, the numbers he has put up at his age are something this organization has never seen. He is, without question, the cornerstone of your future. He is 22 years old, just turned 22. And he is the superstar you've been waiting for, well, after Wander. And he's got a great attitude. He's a showman, and he's got the fastest hands in baseball. His exit velocity is among the elite in this game. He's got tools we've never seen before, bro. And the reason he's grounded into so many double plays is because he never sees strikes because he has no protection in this freaking lineup. And he's trying to do more than it's so hard for a kid. And Orestes speaks to this so well because he was a young phenom himself. And especially as a Latin ball player, it's not just your neighborhood that's watching. The world is watching him. And what he's done in the World Baseball Classic, the world is watching him. And he's got tremendous pressure on him. And I think we're treating him like he's some other regular ball player. And you're not providing any protection for him is an absolute cardinal sin of this organization. The dude's not seeing any strikes. That's your responsibility as a manager in an organization to make sure he's got some protection in the lineup. This is basic effing baseball. And you're not doing it. You're just like, oh, we'll put Chandler Simpson after him. What? Which makes zero sense because Junior's not the fastest guy. And if he does get on base, and where's we need to be treating Junior Caminero like our Tom Brady, and we're not doing it. And I just doesn't make sense to me. John Thiel says you might want to double back on the Glazers, maybe selling this team in the near future to maybe an ownership group located in the Northwest. Oh, wow. Wait now. Hold on now. So you're saying Jeff Bezos made this hire? Okay.
Kurt says he's 44 years old.
Yeah, see, mid-40s. Yeah. Nailed it. Well, Bezos is from the Pacific Northwest, is he not? He's not going to buy the Seahawks. Somebody else is. Yeah, maybe that makes sense.
He's from Albuquerque.
He's from Albuquerque.
Yeah,
but he's been doing Washington games for 20 years, right?
No, I mean Jeff Bezos is from Albuquerque.
Oh, but okay. But doesn't he have some ties to the Pacific Northwest?
Is that where Amazon was founded?
Maybe. All my smart people will check.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure Amazon's going to make it. Probably hanging by a thread right about now.
Danny says you want to bet when Sham ultimately hangs it up that TJ takes over in Dallas. He has no connections to the Cowboys. Like this guy has no connections to the Bucks. Kurt says there's a Ring of Honor game this year. I wager it'll be Gene. Yeah, I think it will be. Should be. Yeah. Danny Boy says the Ravens still have a play-by-play opening. It would not shock me if TJ's in line for that job up in Baltimore. I hope so. I hope so.
Move his family though. That would suck.
Now his girls just graduated high school, so they're going to be empty nesters soon.
Are they going to school?
Probably, yeah, somewhere. Ice Cube Jones says, I hope Dave Moore is still involved. Yes, he's still involved. He'll be the color guy. Rick says the Scots are going to catch on fire here in the Florida sun. Watching the Scots go to the beach will be more fun than watching them go to the Marlins game. But it is funny that they did take over the Marlins Stadium last night. They can take over the Marlins Stadium and give it some life, but the millions of people who live in South Florida refuse to do so. That's weird. It's weird, but not weird. Yep. Weird, but not weird. Tanny Boy says the deputy AD at Washington for external relations, Kurt Svoboda, said about Castricone on X. Tampa Bay, you're getting a great voice with a great person in Tony Castricone. Congrats, TC. Listen, I'm sure he's a great guy. And this is not about him at all.
No.
It's not about him at all. But he has no connections to the Bucs. He has no connection to the fan base. And you had a guy who's been sitting here for 30 years working in this market, and you just toss them away. I think that's disrespectful to the fans. Kurt is bringing this up today, and I didn't want to mention this. That MLB commissioner claims the San Francisco Giants failed to inform players they could opt out of the Pride Team tab. That is correct. They screwed it up. The Giants screwed it up. And everybody that came at me and telling me, oh, they had the opportunity to wear the other stuff, they didn't know that. And MLB really screwed that up.
Yep. They admitted it.
Yeah. To their credit.
Yep.
John Hill says Manchester United has secured the majority of the land required to build the new 100,000 seat stadium. Yeah, they're doing their thing. The Glazers are doing their thing at Manchester United. They're building that. I think it's going to be like a $2.5 billion stadium there and an entertainment district around it. And maybe that's become their priority. Alex Nunn is taking me to task. No, JP, stop excusing his bullshit. He's got absolutely no discipline, and he's nowhere near Franco as far as baseball goes. Totally disagree. He's young, and he needs to learn, but his raw talent and his attitude are fantastic. I think you need to check yourself on Junior. What is this organization doing for him? They giving him a contract extension? Are they giving him any protection? What are they doing for him, Alex? He may be undisciplined because he's a young player. You groom him. You get a great mentor. You bring him in to teach him how to play the game and how to comport himself. Are the Rays doing that? Are they giving him any protection in the lineup? No. I think the blame is not on the Junior's a young, precocious player with great talent. It's your job as an organization to refine that talent, not just throw him to the wolves. I think you should be looking at the organization, how they're dealing with Junior instead of him being the problem. You want to what do you want to trade him for a bag of donuts and watch what he does somewhere else? Sorry, bro. He's 22 years old. You're expecting a polished player at 22 years old? That's not how baseball works. You know that. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, Brian Engblom is going to join us, and we're going to talk some hockey. The Lightning, what will they do in response to perhaps what the Panthers have done? Do you expect changes? Hey, we're brought to you by the great folks at Italiano Insurance, who will soon become Gallagher Insurance. You get the same local great staff and great customer service with a bigger company that brings more options for you. It's the best deal. It's like you get the little deal, the big deal, and it equals a great deal. That's Italiano Insurance, soon to become Gallagher Insurance. Just a name change, same great service. 813-877-7799. Let them do all the work. You save all the money. Back in 3 with Brian Engblom. Well, the folks at Third Generation Plumbing and AC want to say thanks for making them so dadgum busy. Of course, advertising on your favorite Tampa Bay sports talk show helps, but it's their incredible customer service, honesty, and integrity that have earned them tons of 5-star reviews. And now you could be part of the team at Third Generation. Yes, they are so slammed, they need to hire more certified AC technicians and plumbers. It's a great family business to work for. My buddy John Rodriguez runs an old school family business since 1995. They pay well, give you all the holidays off, and they offer great benefits. No cold corporate atmosphere here. You're part of the family. If this sounds cool to you, call them and apply at 813-961-8024, or you can email your resume in at thirdgenerationplumbing.com. Just go to the website, you'll see the button, email them, or call them at 813-961-8024. And don't forget about the $169 yearly maintenance special. It's a no-brainer, guys. thirdgenerationplumbing.com, and they also do AC.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, voted number 3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 1984. My dad, Caesar, started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite. I love it. So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
Sports fans, it's time to gear up. Head to fanstreamsports.com and check out our brand new merchandise store. We're talking bold t-shirts, 3/4 zips, hoodies, hats, mugs, and more. Everything you need to rep your favorite shows and your favorite crew. Whether you're rolling with the JP Peterson Show in Tampa Bay, From the Rough in Dallas, the Tim May Show featuring Clay Hall, or the Jeff Thidoff Show in Ohio, or any of our Fanstream Sports original programming, we've got the perfect look for game day and every day. So don't wait. fanstreamsports.com. Click merch and grab your gear now. Wear the stream, live the stream, fanstreamsports.com.
Welcome to Kingmakers, home of the JP Peterson Show studio and Tampa's premier business networking and social club for members only. By day, it's an exclusive, vibrant co-working space with a stylish conference room, focus rooms, a full production studio, and an in-house marketing team. And by night, Kingmakers transforms into a sports-centric social hub with a full sports bar, golf simulator, and exclusive events. For young entrepreneurs and seasoned professionals, it's the perfect place to work hard, play hard, and make big moves in Midtown Tampa. Close the deal, celebrate the win. Only at Kingmakers. Become a member today at kingmakerstampa.com. Your business, your club. Hey, JP here for my concierge medical professional, Chris Lugo, PA. You've heard him on the show for a couple of years where he shares invaluable medical, nutritional, and supplement advice. With Chris, it's like having a medical provider as your best friend. What I love about this concierge service is the convenience and support he offers. I can text or call him 24/7 with any questions or concerns, and he'll promptly call in a prescription if needed. No office visits or copays required. It gives me peace of mind knowing I have someone genuinely invested in my health, not just focused on insurance profits. And the best part, the Bay Area Modern Medical Center's personal concierge service is more affordable than you might think. Don't let insurance companies dictate your health care. Take control of your health and wellness today. Visit BAMMC.com for more information and to schedule your initial free consultation. Empower yourself and take charge of your personal health with BAMMC.com.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on Fanstream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the Golden Diamond Source. So I hope you guys had a good Father's Day. I know if you got some gifts from the Golden Diamond Source, you had a great Father's Day. And if you're looking to pop the question, no better place than the Golden Diamond Source. All they sell are real diamonds. Don't start your relationship with a fake diamond. Really bad idea. They've got the best selection, best staff over there. They will make you feel very, very comfortable. And don't forget, 0% interest for 5 years gives you a really good chance to buy a nice diamond at the Gold and Diamond Source.
Is that what I'm doing wrong, JP, is buying fake diamonds for my women friends?
That's probably number 7 on the list of what you're doing wrong, Timmy, but it's part of the problem. There's no question about that.
All right.
I'm trying to help you, man.
Let's get Brian on, all right? Let's get him on. Get me out of here.
Please do. Let's welcome in analyst for your Tampa Bay Lightning, longtime Emmy Award-winning broadcaster, the great Brian Engblom, my partner on the postgame show. He doesn't like to mention that in public, but it's true. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well, thanks. How are you guys doing?
Awesome. We're missing hockey though. That's for sure. It was it's a hell of a playoffs, was it not? Man, that was Yeah, I know when the
It,
Lightning
it,
go out in the first round, it sucks, but that was very
yeah,
dramatic.
it was. I mean, look at the job Montreal did, right?
Yeah,
And they kind of upset things, maybe a year ahead of what some people thought. Got to
yeah,
give them a lot of credit there. But getting down to the finals, I think once you saw, the playoffs develop, you could see where it was going to go, and both those teams really did a heck of a job. I wasn't sure when the series started. I thought, yeah, I think it's going to be Carolina because they're just so damn tough through the middle of the ice in the
yeah,
neutral zone. They can really swarm you and strangle you. And if they get any kind of goaltending, which, it's always the story, right? And
right.
I was actually a little shocked about the first three games. They were 5-4, and there was 7 and 8 goals and 9 goals being scored. I never saw that. I thought every game was going to be 1-0, 2-1. We saw
Yeah,
a little more of that as the series went on. But it was a heck of a series. At first, I thought, yeah, it's going to be Carolina, and then I thought, you know what? There's more big time scores, big moment guys for Vegas, and that's what it takes. Especially when you get down to the finals.
yeah,
But then there comes Carolina coming back again, and they just did a heck of a job. And how about Stahl? That
yeah,
is a phenomenal story at his age. I mean,
yeah.
to score that many goals, that one where he scored on his back, or
Oh
sorry,
my
on
God,
the belly flop goal. I
that was
mean,
an iconic one.
you are in the zone, man, when you are scoring goals like that. There is no doubt. Good for him. He's a hell of a player, great guy, all that stuff. So you like to see things like that happen for them. So congrats to Carolina.
Yeah, that net front presence that he gives you, man. It's just, especially in the playoffs. There's
Yeah.
nothing like that, right?
You got to have the big men there for
Yeah,
sure. And he's a
yeah,
big man. Was he about 6'3", 6'4" for sure?
yeah.
Probably
Hard to
210,
move.
215. And he just knows how to play. And you just get in there, you take up a lot of room, you keep your stick free, kind of pivot around. It's
Hmm.
a nuisance, it's a worry, and obviously was extremely effective. So yeah, like I said, good for them. It's always been their Achilles heel is they never had that big score, and they've tried. The management has tried for 4 or 5 years at
Yeah,
least, bringing in certain guys and go, okay, this will be the guy. This will be the guy, and it doesn't happen. They go out in the first round or the second round, just not enough juice at the right time. And here it is. After all this time, it's Stahl, the guy who's
yeah,
been there
yeah.
forever, that ends up being
Well,
the man.
Ehlers helped, right? Ehlers
Oh
had
yeah,
some
for
big
sure.
goals. Yeah,
Ehlers was such a threat, and he is
yeah,
so fast, and he just requires a lot of attention from the opposition. So no doubt, and yes, he did score some goals. So it was again going to a guy like that actually came through for them in a big way. So good for him too.
What did you make of the Torts story? Not only what he did coming in there, and that was just unlike anything I've ever seen, but then it was just kind of like, yeah, we're thanks for the help there, but we're not going to retain you. I thought that was a little weird. I don't know if that was the
Yeah,
decision going in or
yeah. I mean, Torts took a good opportunity, and they
yeah,
were really smart. They realized they were losing some juice there. And one thing Torts is really good at is he comes right in right away and he takes charge. And he's
yeah,
really good at assessing what's going on. And so repeatedly, though, it was refreshing and interesting to hear him say things like, these guys are really good. They really know the game. I'm
mhm,
really not doing that much, reorganizing a few things, and then just let them go and fill them with that vigor that a
mhm,
coach has to have. I
yeah,
think that was the most important thing. Look, he knows how to change lines, he knows how to match up, he knows all that, and that's big, that's for sure, especially when you get into the finals. But it's literally that presence when you walk into the room. Why is Coop coached Team Canada the last several years and regarded as the best coach in the league by most people? Because when he walks in the room, it's business, and he knows it. He's got that, swagger, whatever word
yeah,
you want to call
yeah,
it. That's the word, we seem to use all the time now, and it's true. Well, I think Torts has that same thing. He's known for being overly aggressive and being a kind of a yeller, screamer, in your face kind of guy too, who has, pissed off a few players along the way. but he's a no nonsense guy. And so that's the part that I mean, it was really kind of refreshing to hear him say, these guys are really good. Like
Yeah.
just, he filled them back up. Their tank seemed to be going down, down, down. He filled it right back up again real fast, got them reorganized and then let them go. As far as not signing him long term, I don't know what that's all about. We may
Yeah.
never know, whether, the money wasn't right or they knew all along. Sounds like they want to promote from within.
Yeah.
And that,
Yeah.
like, just get us over the hump. We'll pay you well. You could win another Stanley Cup and it's all good. And he loves to coach. He is a coach. There are some
Yeah.
guys that coach, JP, and there are other guys that are coaches.
Yeah.
He's a coach, right?
Yeah. Let's see if he gets an opportunity next year. All right, let's talk a little bit about our Tampa Bay Lightning. The Panthers have made a move and brought in they reunited the Kachuk brothers. So everybody's like, all right, well, what are the Lightning going to do now? I expect they're, I don't know how to qualify this, but I think there's going to be some significant change in terms of adding a big name. Carlson's name has been out there. And now Darren Radish is gone. And you have, you hope that Victor Hedman will get back to playing the way Victor Hedman should, but there's no guarantee there.
Right.
How do you see that whole thing coming together on the blue line? You know a little bit something about this.
Yeah, that will be interesting for sure. Look, first of all, for Darren Radish, congratulations. I mean,
Awesome.
man, talk about timing and
Awesome.
having an unbelievable year. Like, he was really good,
Yeah.
really good. Not just in the 22 goals is unreal for a defenseman. For a forward, it's great.
Yeah.
22 goals for a D-man is outstanding. We saw that. So the offense speaks for itself. But I was really impressed with his all-around game. If you
Yeah.
look at his season for Darren Radish, beginning of the year, he wasn't in every game when
No.
everybody was healthy. I mean, it went from the bottom, from the gutter to the top
The penthouse.
of the heap. Yes,
Literally.
exactly. Just an amazing story. I think because he's 30 years old now and he's been around the block. His first 4 or 5 years pro, he was mostly in the American League and not in the NHL. So he had to work at it and stay with it and take his time. And then this year again, kind of starting off the same way, because the big three, Hedman, McDonough, and Chernak, they're the ones that are going to get most of the ice time, and all the rest of you sort of fit in along the way, right? Well, with Hetty missed 30 something games. I forget the numbers off the top of my head. McDonough 20 something. Chernak, I've forgotten. They were out of the lineup so much.
Yeah.
It was crazy. So they had to rely. JJ Moser and Radish really carried the team on the back end to allow them to do what they did, even to make the playoffs, if you think about it that way, because they had to play them. They're the ones that stepped forward and went, okay, we can do this. And they did a heck of a job. They were the two best defensemen. Then the other guys sort of came in and went because of injuries. And you brought up Hetty. It was a really difficult year for him. I don't know what all his issues are, but obviously he had some, and it was a difficult year for him. So moving forward, where does that put him? Where does it put the team? I don't know until they come to training camp and you find out what's happening. But I agree with you. I mean, they're going to have to, find a way to bring a right side D-man in for sure. You and I talked about it. Even at the trade deadline, there were guys like Rasmus Anderson, who went from Calgary to Vegas, who I believe, I haven't looked in the last day or two, but he was a free agent. He's a right-handed D who's got some skill. He can score and move the puck and whatever. And we were kind of quietly talking, that wouldn't be a bad move, to try and get him for the Lightning. So I still will stick with that. I haven't really done a rundown, JP, of like everybody who's out there and who's possible, but it's the off season. Anything is possible defense-wise, and it'll be interesting to see what Julien Brisebois and the management do.
So a lot of fans are like, man, we got a 5th round pick for Radish, and why couldn't we keep him? Listen, 8 years at 8.5, $68 million for a 30-year-old. I wish him the best. But that's a pretty big gamble for Toronto, wouldn't you say? I mean, I don't want to see Darren leave, and I wish he would stay. But if JBB would have given him that contract, I would be like, whoa, what are we doing? Right?
Exactly. I'm not surprised at all that
Yeah.
he's gone, that they didn't match that it
Yeah.
wasn't going to be, I don't think, anywhere near that ballpark. Um, for the reasons, some of them we touched on. You look at his progression and how long he's been here, and you take the overall view. So I think I forget Julian's exact words, but you kind of got a feeling of, he knew what he was up against here, and he
Yeah.
had a pretty good idea some team was going to come with some big bucks. Because when you score 22 goals as a defenseman, and you can play the minutes that he did, it's impressive, and every team in the league needs that. But when you have to take the overall look of the years that Radish has been with the team, I'm not surprised that the Lightning just said, shook his hand and went, "Good for you, atta boy." The 8 years, yeah, like that's way over the top for me. At 30 years old, he's a big, strong guy, and he moves really well. He's, I've read some of the things where they said, well, he's a good skater, but whatever. He's a lot faster than you think.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
watched him so many times get back and take care of business when it was a quick break for the opposing team. And he took care of 2-on-1s, and he was not slow. He did a heck of a job. He was on top of his game. So he's underrated in that respect about how good he is defensively. But for 8 years, for 8+ million a year, he hasn't made more than what, 925 grand a year. You go from that to 8 million. Like,
That's
just
crazy.
do the math for what you know about
Yeah.
what he's done here. But for teams like Toronto, or maybe it would have been another team, we don't know how many other teams knocked on the door and said, "Okay, we'll give you this, we'll give you that." And
Yeah.
whatever Julian's number was, I think that number and those years certainly were way past
Yeah.
anything he was willing to do. So good luck to Darren.
Yeah. And he gets to go home, and his father just passed, and a lot of for personal reasons.
Yeah.
It's great for him. And I'm so happy for Darren Radish. But what everybody wants to know, Brian, is now that you've seen what happened in the playoffs, how Montreal went on, I still think the Lightning were a top 5 team in this league. I'll stick with that. But we're all real tired of a first round exit. We're all tired of that, including JBB. Yeah. What do we got to do to remake this? I know they're not going to remake the roster. This team's too close. It's not a blow it up type thing, but I think some change is needed. What would you like to see in this offseason? What's possible?
Yeah, well, it's expectations, right? And that's where it should be. That's what separates the good teams with high expectations who have won recently, which the Lightning obviously have done with the 2 cups in a row, and having that ultimate success, and not having to or wanting to go through a complete rebuild. They're not at that stage. They still have some of the best players in the world playing on the team. So it's the rest of the lineup. So depth scoring and more production from the third, fourth line. And even if it's not incredible goal scoring from a fourth line, but having, I think, the size and the grit and the occasional goal for sure from the bottom 6 up front, that certainly will have to do it. So in Darren Radish, we touched on that already. What's going to happen on D? Right-handed defenseman for the last, I don't know how many years, JP, is kind of like left-handed pitching. You never seem to have enough, right? There just seem to be more left side guys at a high end than right. I don't know why that is, but it just seems that way. So right-handed Ds get some big contracts. Just ask Darren. So how are you going to reconstruct the power play? Because everything went through Darren Radish. So we know that the puck flows through Kucherov on he demands it, and he should. He's a genius that, so few others. So everything goes through him. So for years we had Victor Hedman up top, who's a lefty, who cannot take a one-timer from Kucherov. That was obvious. That's why the Darren Radish thing worked so well. And Radish should be the first to say, "Thank you very much, Kuch." He ought to take him, he probably owes a couple of million a year to Kucherov, for the contract that he just got, because it's setups
Won't
on
be
the
getting
power
that in
play.
Toronto. Yeah,
exactly. And just pounding it away because he's got a 90, 100-mile-an-hour shot. That's a big threat. Well, Hedman can't do that because he's a lefty, and the puck coming from his right, it's impossible. So when it worked at its best, Stamkos was on the left side. So it was Victor being more of a pivot man. It would go from Kucherov to Hedman over to Stammer, or it would go Kucherov right to Stammer through the box, but Stammer was the man, right? That took the pressure off of Kucherov and off of Hedman. And then once everybody started shading one way too much, then Hedman can walk down, boom, top of the circle, he
Yeah.
scores. Or Kucherov gets a chance because everybody shifted to the far side of the ice or up to Hedman. Kucherov gets his chance. So it worked. It was great. So then the option there is there's an Alex Tuck out there in Buffalo. He's a right-handed shot. He can go in there. Do you recreate that on the power play and have a right-handed guy with a gun, and he's got a gun?
I like that. that.
And it's going to cost money for sure. The good news is the cap went up a lot. What, $7 million or something? It went up from last year. That's a big time player, right?
Yep.
$7 million. That's a big time player right there. Plus, Radish is not there, so his salary is not there. So, and any other adjustments you want to make. So there are opportunities there, no doubt, for them to do that. And that'll be the interesting part. How is the power play going to be rearranged without Radish bombing there? You really need a guy on that left wing side, which we really didn't have. Brandon Hagel went there, some other guys did, but they're not those big shooters. Hagel had a hell of a year. One of my favorite players in the entire league. But for me, he's not that incredibly great on the power play. Everything moves a little too quick, and it just doesn't have a rhythm to it and a feel. It could happen maybe with more work, but he is so valuable, shorthanded and 5-on-5 and matchups and everything else. He's one of the top players in the league in my mind. But that left side, what's going to look like? So that's where I would start. As far as what young talent from the guys that they've just signed or traded, for, who's going to come in and be the surprise this year that wasn't even on the team or barely in the organization last year. Those will be the questions.
Cannot wait to see what happens. It's going to be a fun offseason for the Lightning. Brian, thank you so much. Appreciate your takes on all this.
Sure.
We'll get out and play golf here soon.
Yeah, are you playing much? Are you any good?
Yeah, I'm starting to play. Still having a little problem with the, you got a back injury, got an oblique injury, at the end of the season, I have to reveal all these things. But
JP has as many excuses as he does clubs in his bag. Brian.
Yeah,
yes, I do.
Well, we all do that. That's the game, right, man? I mean, I played a couple of times last week, and I played back-to-back days. Oh, I'm not playing back-to-back anymore. That second day,
I can't do that.
Oh man, I was like,
those days are over.
I was a monkey with a gun that second day. I'm telling you, I just couldn't do anything. Unreal.
Oh, I love it. All right, Brian. Thanks, man. Appreciate you.
Okay, guys. See ya.
See you soon. All right. Speaking of golf, we got breaking news here, and there's no better person to unravel all this than the great Tracy West, tournament director of our Valspar Championship. What's up, Tracy? How are you?
Hey, JP. I'm doing very well. How about yourself?
Good. Just talking with Brian Engblom, a little hockey. So we got the best experts on the show today. So we appreciate you jumping on at this time. I was not able to see the press conference this morning, but I just put up the website and I'm seeing this new PGA Tour Challenger Series. That's all I know. Unravel it for us. What the hell's going on? First and foremost, what's going on in Val's? Anywhere you want to start, this part's yours. So explain what's going on.
Sure, no problem. So yes, the PGA Tour announced today for 2028, this will start. It's basically they're breaking the tour into a new competitive structure, and there's going to be 23 to 24 events that are PGA Tour Championship Series. There'll be $20 million purses with the top 120 players in the world playing those. And then there'll be a PGA Tour Challenger Series, which will be 20 of the other tournaments, and they will have access to players 121 on down. They'll have 144 person fields, about roughly minimum $4 million purses. Some of them might be a little higher than that, but basically it's going to be a new competitive structure. So big changes
Yes.
for 2028, and how it impacts us, from a local perspective, the Valspar Championship. We don't know 100% for sure yet. If I
Whether
have,
you're in the top tier or the lower tier.
I'm fairly confident we would probably end up being in the Challenger Series versus the Championship Series, just because of the investment required. But Valspar's, they're all ears. They're listening to what the investment levels are going to be required, what the title sponsors will receive, et cetera. So basically, there's kind of three options, because in the Challenger Series, so the 20 tournaments, there's going to be kind of a 2A, 2B, if you want to think of it that way. There will be 7 tournaments that will still have standalone weeks and have network coverage, network broadcast coverage. The other 13 will be opposite field events. So they would be played the same week as one of the championship series, and they'll be only Golf Channel for their 4 days of coverage, so they won't have network. So we believe that we would hopefully at least be the 2A. So if we're on the Challenger Series, that we would still have a standalone week and network coverage.
Okay.
But our field will be different.
Yeah.
Our field will be different.
It'll be definitely different. But so you don't think it'll be in the top 20?
So, and that is one of the 23 to 24 championship series. I don't know. I don't know. It's a lot more money. It's a lot higher purse.
So Valspar has to make the call on that, basically. And weren't they signed through like 2030 or something?
They're signed through 2030. So Valspar would need to make the call, but also too, JP, even if Valspar says, yes, for sure, we want to be that, we wouldn't necessarily be guaranteed, because what they're trying to do is figure out all the different weeks, right? So there's going to be basically the start of the season will be in February and go through August. But they're building in, weeks, 7 weeks where there's no event, series 1, championship series event. So those 30 weeks, it depends kind of where you fall and which cities are going to be those, because we can only also be played certain times of the year. I mean, obviously we're not going to play in Tampa in July, right?
Yeah, that would probably be a very bad idea for the fans.
That would be a bad idea.
You'd have trouble getting people out for that, for sure.
Exactly. So it really kind of depends on, because they're going to sprinkle those weeks off, throughout the calendar. So a lot more to be figured out in the next, couple of months for sure.
All right. So it's going to be up. Do you know what the commitment is for a major sponsor for the top 24 events?
Yeah, they're looking anywhere from about 26.5 to 31, and a half million a year. Yeah, it's significant.
And what is it? What is Valspar's current? What are their deal currently, if you don't mind me asking?
Not that high.
Not high. I know it's not that high for sure. I'm just trying to gauge like how much more commitment do we need? I guess
a lot.
A significant amount. Okay.
JP, are you willing to make up the difference? Is that what you're trying to say?
It's not like this is just another, $1 million. No.
Yeah. I don't think I've got the cash to make that up. But
yeah. Put it this way, we could rally and if it was only another $1 million, get that cash. But yeah.
Well, listen, I'd have faith in you and Rondé to get that. You guys would definitely get that done. But 15 to 20 million, that's a tough ask. Whatever that number is going to be. All right, so we don't know if it's going to be upper tier or lower tier. We think maybe one of the standalone Challenger series, so maybe the 2B tour. Okay, that's doable. But it's going to be a much different field, obviously, right? So,
it will be. But there's, basically how the PGA Tour has set this up is, so that the championship series will be the top 120 players, right? But in any given year, only 90 will keep their championship series card, right? The other 30 will relegate back down into the Challenger Series to try and work their way back up. So you're going to have a constant flow of 30 guys, prominent players, right, going back up and down and so forth. Plus, depending upon, they only have the 27 season now to really make it into
Yeah.
that proper, so this year, this coming year in 2027, the fields are going to be really strong because, guys are really going to have to play a lot,
Yeah.
especially if they're in, and there's a
Yeah.
lot of prominent guys that are,
Yeah.
in that, 90 to 120 land, if you will. So there'll be a lot of movement back and forth. So the Challenger Series is still going to be, a very special opportunity, right? For you're still coming out and watching some of the finest golfers, in the
Oh,
in the
sure.
country.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a lot. It's going to be super competitive because they're only going to have 20 weeks to
Make their
work
mark.
their way
Wow.
back up again. So it's going to
So
be interesting.
I know, like your particular tournament, there are a lot of prominent players that love playing this golf course. So will they be allowed to play? Like if they're playing, the top guys, if they want to go play one of these others, they're not even going to be allowed to. Even if they want
No.
to, they love you so much, they want to come play a Copperhead.
No, they can come play another week just for fun. come
Yeah.
come out and play with you and I.
Sure.
But yeah, no, unfortunately, they won't be able to.
Wow.
So it's the PGA Tour feels very strongly that they want to those 23 to 24 championship series events. They want those fields to be as strong as possible, and those title sponsors to have the very best of the best, right?
Yeah.
And they feel it wouldn't be fair then to allow some of them to come back down and play Challenger Series events, those other couple of weeks if they might want to. So they're not going to be allowed to. So it's going to
Wow.
get very interesting.
Yeah. Tracy West, Valspar, tournament director, joining us here. Is this good for the game? Now, you've been in this for a long time. There's a lot of people that just feel like this is not good for the game. I might be one of them. I got to dive into more of this, but I kind of felt I knew what was coming. This two-tiered system. I don't know. I kind of like my old PGA Tour the way it was, and I don't know. What do you think? Is it good for the game?
Yeah, that's a tough question to answer, right? I can argue in some ways it's good for the game, and for fans, television viewing fans, and so forth. But yeah, change is hard, and it's going to be hard for some of the communities that
Big
are
time.
not in the championship series.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be different, for us here in Tampa, if we're not one of the championship series events. It'll be different. But by the same token, it doesn't mean that the event isn't still compelling, that it still won't have, be a great competition, still won't raise money for charity in the local,
Yeah.
local community, still bring economic impact. So there's still a lot of, things that won't change. They'll just be different.
Yeah.
I think jury's out, on, I think in 5 years' time, we'll be able to answer that question. Was it good for the game or not overall?
Right. Right.
Yes, there's going to be some communities and sponsors that are not going to be happy.
Is there an opportunity for another? If Valspar says, "No, that's too much for us," is there an opportunity to recruit another title sponsor that might love Tampa Bay in this market?
Yeah, potentially. Sure. Anything's possible.
Yeah.
With that said, obviously we love Valspar. They've been our
Absolutely.
title
Yeah.
sponsor since 2014. They've embraced this community. This is not their hometown,
Big time.
right?
Yeah.
They're owned by Sherwin-Williams. They're based out of Cleveland, but a lot of people joke with them that this is kind of their adopted, second home now, because of the Valspar championship.
Yeah.
So they've been great partners to us. We certainly hope that they, that they continue. But if they chose not to for any reason, yes, we as Copperhead Charities, so Rondé, our board, our 120 Copperhead strong, right? It's not like we'd fold up shop. We would do everything possible to find a replacement title sponsor if that were to happen.
So are they basically going to, so we don't know what these top tier events are yet. We don't know what cities. Is it basically going to be, okay, go find your sponsor and everybody can bid on it or whatever? If you want a tournament bad enough, go find a sponsor that's going to put up 30 million and get your deal done. Is that basically what they're saying?
Kind of. I mean, they have some identified already. So
Right.
so not counting the majors and playoffs and, those. So out of the 23, 24, if you take those out of the mix, there's 15 other events that are going to be these championship series. They announced today that they've got 10 identified and, basically solidified. They haven't announced what markets they are, but you could probably kind of guess somewhat, right? Because there used to be 8 of them before. They didn't renew Century. They did not do Hawaii again. So down to 7. So they obviously feel they have at least those, probably the same 7. I don't know, but probably the same 7, plus another 3. So there's 5 more they need to figure out. And they announced today that those could come from existing title sponsors. So obviously,
you guys could be in the mix
full
for
field
that,
events have the ability to say, hey, raise their hand, the title sponsors, and say, yeah, we'll go up. Or they're going to be in new markets, or a combo of that. And they are trying to get in bigger markets. I mean, they've announced about 7 different cities they'd love to be in. I mean, they want to go back, get an annual event in New York. They want to get back to Boston, DC, Chicago, San Francisco, Seattle, so it's kind of, in a way, it's going to be a bidding war, JP. It's going to be what markets and title sponsors can raise their hand and say, hey, we'll pay X. We want one of them. So
it's interesting because right now, the Rays are in the city of Tampa and Hillsborough counties on the brink of like making a huge decision. Are we going to be big boys? Are we, we're going to, kind of let it go to another market? And it's kind of the same with our golf event too. And, we're the 11th largest market. We're a huge market and we're ever growing. It's an interesting time for Tampa Bay right now. And in 3-4 years, it's going to be interesting to see what it looks like in terms of the sporting landscape. So, listen, we're in no better hands than with you and Rondé, and I wish you all the best. And obviously there's some work to come. So go get them. I know you'll put the best foot forward and we'll have a great event either way. 27, by the way, is all good, right? We got a great, you like the new date?
I do. We're rock solid for 27. We're going to have a great field. We do have access to all, all players for 2027.
What is it? Early May? May 7th?
Yeah, we're May 3rd through the 9th.
Okay.
So we've got May the 4th be with you. We've got Cinco de Mayo. We've got Mother's Day. So we're going to go all in.
Yeah, you can work with that. You can work with that.
We can, and we've got a great date. It'll be a little bit warmer, but nothing crazy. It's not that hot yet that time of year, and I love where we sit on the calendar from a player recruitment standpoint. So I expect a really, really strong field next year. So everyone just keep positive on we're focused on 27, and then we'll figure out where the chips fall after that.
It's going to be a big old party. It's going to be a big party for 27. We know that. Thank you, Tracy. I appreciate your time.
Thanks, JP.
All right. Okay. Let's we got some. This big change is coming for the PGA Tour. This press conference this morning, I was listening to PGA Tour radio this morning, and you just sense from everybody in the business, Timmy, that we're all just kind of closing our eyes, and it's like we're taking off on the roller coaster, and we just have no idea where it's going to go. It could be crazy good, and it could be an absolute disaster.
Do you want my prediction?
Yeah, well, you're always going to predict a disaster.
It's going to be a complete and utter disaster, JP. Alternate field events have never been a good idea. They will never be a good idea, and it's going to ruin golf. Splitting up the field is I hate signature events. I hate alternate field events when you have just put everybody together and let them freaking play golf. So we can watch everybody at one time in the same place, in the same conditions.
You know what's pushing this? You know what this pushing is? The same thing that always pushes these changes. Fucking money. It's just all about money and greed. Players got to get more. Sponsors got to get more. We need more. Why is that always the default position? It's always just got to be about more money. Does anybody ever say, you know what? Our company's good. We're good. We don't need to have our stock price does not need to go up 30% we're just going to keep our company the way it is. It's real. Everybody likes it. We're just going to make our profit every year and everybody's no, it can never be that. It's the players can never say, oh, we like what's going on. Sucks.
I hate it. I'm not happy.
Big man's in the house.
That's two bad news pieces for me
in the house.
Wow. What was the other one?
What was the other? Oh, TJ.
Oh,
TJ didn't get the Bucks radio job. So we're all pissed off about that.
That's upsetting.
You know,
At least we got the Rays to talk about.
Oh, yeah. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we can't win a one-run game now.
Can't win one-run games.
What's going on with that?
We're trying to figure out which Rays team do we really have. The one that can win the one-run games, the ones that are athletic, that can, it's been a little bit frustrating. Now, you can look at it, as the glass is half full, because of the fact that they did win a lot of one-run games when they broke out to their 49 games. They went 34-15. But just the reality is 9-17 in the last 26, including in those 17 losses, 8 one-run losses.
Damn.
So
9-17.
Didn't they go 9-1 in May in one-run games?
Listen, they cushioned themselves nicely. No, that's the deal. The fact remains, and in fact, there was a great quote from Kevin: "One-run game wins, and we're not as bad as we are in these one-run game losses." So you had 9 in that stretch, and then you've had 8 in this stretch. So which team is it? What I look at is real. I don't want to try to make it basic, but there are 6 key things that the Rays have to do with their type of team. Remember, they're last in home runs. They're not 3-run homer Earl Weaver back in the day type of a team. They're not the Yankees. They're not the Dodgers. They're not built like that, but they sure have won a shitload of games, like the Yankees and the Dodgers over the last 10, 15 years. So how have they done it? Predominantly over that period of time, especially now this year. 6 main things. Number 1, solid starting pitching, right? That's what was, driving them when they were, going 34-15. Solid bullpen pitching, mainly in the back end. They've still kind of have struggled all season long, to be candid with you, throughout their 75 games with that middle relief injuries and trying a myriad of different names, right? We've seen so many already, probably a dozen guys in and out. But the key guys, Kelly and Baker, have been super solid, right? Solid defense. Overall, I give them a B+, on their defense. It could be a tick better, but when they're winning, it was an A. The 4th thing is contact. They are a contact athletic team. What is that? That means that you're striking out very, very few times, right? You have to optimize on that, and then you have to be athletic in the base pass, which ties you into how good your base running is number 5, and then the dreaded RISP.
Yeah,
that's
gone south.
It's gone south. They're still in the top, 10 in Major League Baseball in RISP, in around 270, but they were in the 290s earlier on. They were top 4. They're still, hanging in there, but it's just been really rearing its ugly head in the last. Let's just take this homestand. They're 5 for 23, I believe, 5 for 23 in RISP, including 0 for 7. So when you get a guy on second, you get a guy on third. That's when they've been really, really, really good overall in this first 75 games. By the way, when they finish this homestand, they'll be at exactly 81 games played.
Yeah.
So that's the middle of the season.
And you're still 11 games over. And you're 500.
Still 11. So no. Listen, this is just the Rays of our lives, man. This is the soap opera ebb and flow that you fight for, you play for, you live through, and as a fan and a supporter, you have to kind of go with them on this journey. So we'll talk a lot about that. A couple of interesting quotes that I'll share from Kevin Cash and also Ben Williamson, who's I think one of those, key guys too, along with, Johnny DeLuca. We're waiting for Fraley to get back. Those guys are key because they put the ball in play. They're very athletic, and you got to make those things happen. So, what are the keys to being a good wrist hitter? Going back up the middle. They did have a couple of bullets up the middle that I'll be honest with you, the KC made a couple of great plays on. So, they're efforting. But the reality is that, This is kind of this bit of a malaise. It's unfortunate that that it's in June. Thankful that the Yanks are also going through their little deal here in the last couple 3 games, and we're able to be not only 11 games over 500, but also only 2 games out of first place.
Yeah, it seems like it's they're not getting those big hits, and
that's it.
And I want to on your show later on, I really want to dial into strikes in baseball. He's got 1 home run over the last 18 games.
Yeah.
None in the last 7. And maybe even worse than that, 4 RBIs in the last 18 games.
Yeah. He's definitely, with running in scoring position, been spreading himself out. I think he's trying to do so much.
Too much.
Because of the fact that.
And he's not seeing any strikes.
He's not seeing any strikes. So you have to take the walks. He was doing that earlier. They have to take this basic statistics that are right in front of you that we're sharing on the show regularly, and do something about that. And that is
get him some protection.
Protect him. That are protection. Definitely an Aranda, who is a quality hitter, who does one of the best RBI guys along with Yandy. But your best RBI guy should be Cameronero.
Yes.
And because of the potential that he has in those 2 hands, and you're not getting that. So you have to infuse him into the lineup in a position and put him in the position of success. And I think the best way is to move him up in the lineup, either second or third. And I'm very cool with him being a number 2 hitter, and with Yandy getting on base as much as he's getting on base.
And there's nobody in in Yandy. I still don't like him at the top.
No, but they're not changing that. They're not changing.
I think that's dumb. You're not scoring runs. Do something different. The guy who gets the most hits for you comes up with nobody up at the top.
Hey, man, listen, he did drive into 1 run yesterday with a double, you know, which, by the way, I think it's 447th double, 448th double, put him, I think 7th or 6th in all time with the Rays. What a great career he's
Don't
having.
You have to maximize his hits in terms of getting runs?
So who are you going to lead off?
I maybe DeLuca, now that he's back. I put Carl Simpson up there and Chandler up there and just let him go. You don't have
that's not happening. It just doesn't seem like that's in their
I agree, but so what they're doing is not working either.
Yeah,
in terms of scoring runs,
and they've to the point where even when righties are starting, you're not seeing Chandler back up in the number 1 hole. So that's the glaring. We're not doing that.
If what you're doing was working, I'd say great, but what you're doing is not working. They've scored more than 4 runs, I think, twice in the last 15 or 16 games.
Yeah.
That's just, and they're not facing a lot of elite. They have not faced a lot of elite pitching.
No. And when you've got your
Michael Wacha is not elite.
He's not.
Okay, but he's not elite.
Shoot, they had lost 7 of his last starts. So not that he's pitching horseshit. He's still formidable and throws a lot of strikes. He's very much, basically, it's interesting because
he's Nick Martinez.
He's Nick Martinez.
I said that earlier.
He's Nick Martinez. Yeah. Like they're brothers from a different mother, and they keep you in the game. They every now and then they give you that quality start or a little uber quality start, like what the super quality as I call it, when you go 7 less than 2 runs. Which is what he did yesterday. He's Nick Martinez. So there was a great opportunity. We'll talk about it further. The athleticism and the smartness, got away from a guy, and that's Chandler Simpson. Yeah. In the 4th inning, you have Valade hits a double. He hit the grounder to first, and if you watch it, Chandler thought that it was pretty much right at the first baseman. He was just, he beats that by not 1, 2 steps if he jumps out of the box.
It's a huge play in a 1-run game.
Why? I'm going to tell you why. Because now you have scary speed at first.
Mm-hmm.
You have good speed at third with Valade, good speed at home with Williamson. So now you're putting the defense on check. We got to make sure that, because if it's a ground ball and we try to nail Chandler at second and you miss it, okay, that's not the third out. He can, or he could try to steal, and now you got to make the right tag. So much happens defensively when you have a contact type of a inning, hitters, and which is Williamson hits a lot of hard ground balls. That changes the whole dynamic of a close 1-run game again.
Right.
And that's what happened. That those are the things that are not meshing right now. It's not for lack of trying. It's lack of, focus, to be honest with you. And they have to kind of recalibrate.
Yeah.
And that's one of the quotes I'm going to share in the show about Ben Williamson. He makes a great point. Because you know why? I'm going to tell you something. They've got this 10-game stretch. Then they have a day off. Then they have a 13-game stretch. No days off.
Right.
Going into so, no rest for the weary. I've been there, played 153 games one year, and I was dead at the end of the season. It's just such a, every day. So your focus and your heightened awareness has to be there. And right now, some of those, when you're playing a lot of one-run games, if you're on the negative side of the decision making, like Chandler was, or a pitch here and there, it means a ton.
All right, we're going to dive more into this in the Big O show coming up here around 12:30. So be ready for that. We've had a very interesting day here with what's going on with the Valspar and our friend TJ Reeves not getting the job. So
trade by the Heat.
Yeah, we didn't even get to talk about it.
Yeah,
at all.
Yeah, maybe we'll swing a little bit and talk.
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that. Yeah, absolutely. All right, Timmy, thank you. Appreciate you. All you guys commenting. Great comments today as well. We will be back tomorrow with more fun and frivolity. Big O show coming up here at 12:30. See you then.